So hopefully you're having fun graphing the ellipse and giving a shot at trying to draw that elliptical shape. And when they're in standard form, it's not too bad. If it's centered at the origin, you just find A and B and you move on the appropriate axes, the major axis or the minor axis, and try to draw your, best ellipse that you can. You graph the center and the vertices and the co-vertices, and you can draw the ellipse. Okay, but what if it's not in standard form? So here we have an equation. This is often called the general form. And it's great for certain things, but it's not very handy for graphing. But they want us to graph the ellipse. So what we have to do is we have to take this general form and get it into standard form. That's the goal. Then we can graph it and label, find the center, vertices, co-vertices, and foci. So what we do is we take the x terms. So I have 4x squared minus 40x, and leave yourself a little space, and then the y terms, so 9y squared plus 36y, and then the constant we're going to put on the other side. Okay, so that's kind of how you set it up. I can put an addition sign here. That might be helpful. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the x terms, and we're going to factor out the greatest common factor, which is 4. So you're going to have 4 times x squared minus 10x, leave some space, plus, and then we're going to look at these terms, the y terms, and factor out what they have in common, 9. So 9 times y squared plus 4y equals negative 100. Now you kind of have to have a lot of faith on this problem because some of these numbers are fairly big, and you're like, I don't want to graph 100, kind of thing. But just believe that it's going to work out, and hopefully it'll work out nicely. Okay, so because right now we have a negative number over here, and that's going to be a problem, right? Okay, so what we do is we're going to complete the square. We're going to complete the square right here for the x terms. So you take half of 10, which is 5, and you square it. That's 25. So I'm adding 25 in here. But remember, like when we've completed the square in the past, when we were solving quadratic equations, you can't just add the 25 because you feel like it. You have to add to both sides. But you're not going to add a 25 over here. You're going to add 4 times 25, which is 100. Okay, so that's the thing you have to remember, is that 4 that factored out gets multiplied times the 25. All right, now we're going to do the same thing for the y. We're going to look at these two terms. We're going to take half of 4, which is 2, and square it, which is 4, plus 4. So we're going to add something to the other side, but it won't be 4. It's going to be 9 times 4, which is 36. Okay, now we're going to be getting somewhere. So I'm going to have 4 times x minus 5 squared, because I completed the square, plus 9 times y plus 2 squared equals, and then it looks like I'm getting, these are canceling out, so I'm going to get 36. Okay. So now we saw a problem similar to this one earlier. We have to get that 1 on the right hand side. So we've got to divide by 36, divide by 36, divide by 36. And so we're going to get x minus 5 squared over 9, because 4 goes into 36, plus y plus 2 squared over 4 equals 1. Now we can know whether the center is, what A is, what B is. It's going to be a pancake shape because the 9's bigger here under the X. Okay, so everything's going to be great for graphing, and we're off to the races. So it all worked out pretty nicely, and we just have to kind of have a little bit of faith that it's all going to work out. So, but we are able to get it into the standard form by completing the square. Okay. So let's see what everything is. The center is at HK, so H is 5, K is negative 2, so the center is at 5, negative 2. So I can draw that. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 2. That's going to be the center. So that's important to know where the center is because that's what we're going to count from. And then it is going to be pancake. So my A, I'll just write it here. My A is going to be 3, plus or minus 3, I guess if you want to think of it that way, because A squared is 9. So that means we're going 3 to the left, 3 to the right. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we can figure out what the vertices are by looking at the graph. I think they want us to say what the vertices are. So it looks like I have 2, negative 2, and 8, negative 2. So you see some of these same numbers popping up. It could have been a radical. It didn't have to work out to be integers, but they did, so that was kind of nice. Okay, the co-vertices. Well, we have to know B. B is going to be plus or minus 2. So we're going to be going up 2 and down 2. And so we can draw the ellipse. Yeah, well, maybe we can draw the ellipse. I tried. It's not too bad. Co-vertices. And then we can read those off the graph as well, or you could use the formulas like we've done in the previous problem. So it looks like I have 5, 0. Oh, let me do the lower one. 5, negative 4, and 5, 0. And then where will the foci be? Well, in order to do the foci, we have to figure out C. So C squared equals A squared minus B squared, or C squared equals 9 minus 4. I think we had this before. C equals plus or minus the square root of 5, which we said was about 2.2. So it's going to be, right there's going to be 1, and right there's going to be 1. Those are the foci. So the foci are going to be, so pancake shape. So they're coming from, it's going to be a change in the H. Okay, so it'll be 5 minus the square root of 5, comma, negative 2, and 5 plus the square root of 5, comma, negative 2. Okay, so there's the graph. Here's the information. And it's a lot of work, but that's how you do that kind of problem.